All right, have you ever heard the quieter you become, the more you're able to hear? Kali Linux. That's all I'm going to say. So, Kali Linux is a Debian based Linux distribution which is mostly used for security related operations. So, it's developed, funded, and maintained by Offensive Security. It's a leading information security training company. So, Kali is a rebranded version of the Linux distribution known as Backtrack, which was retired way back in March 2013. Now, besides all that, you can install it on any virtualization platform. You can also use it as a host operating system. Also, you can install it on an ARM processor-based computer like the Raspberry Pi. So we're going to use Kali in our attacking machine. But before installing it, I do want to give you a little bit of information about it quickly. Kali Linux contains many tools from Backtrack, but it also adds some new ones. Now, this isn't the only wonderful thing about the Kali. You can customize it as a framework for your own security needs. Kali contains several hundred tools which are geared toward various information security tasks, such as penetration testing, but security research as well, and computer forensics, as well as reverse engineering. So I think pretty much everybody agrees, or well, let's just say almost everyone agrees, open source tools are a very good resource, and sometimes they're even better than the commercial ones. But of course, they might have particular drawbacks, such as their update frequency, as well as dependency problems. There might even be insufficient documentation. Also, they contain many dependencies when being installed on Linux, and they may need to be installed in a predefined sequence to work properly. So that's why I figure using Kali is a perfect solution, or, we split the difference, or it's a really good balance so that we don't have to face these problems, and it simplifies this entire process. Kali has many pre-installed tools with really good documentation and with all of the dependencies. So the tools in Kali is mostly in a ready-to-use condition. So you can focus on hacking instead of, spending time installing tools. Kali has a continuous rolling update mechanism. What does that mean? It means that it does not update just the tools, but also the whole operating system. Really useful. So the tools in Kali are frequently updated. That means that it provides you with an up-to-date toolbox. So we can simply say it's a Linux distribution packed with security-related tools, as well as being targeted toward network and computer security experts, which is what we are, right? Cool. So that means the next thing is installing Kali as the attacking machine. Kali also offers the community pre-built images for VirtualBox and VMware. So that means all we need to do is import them, and then we're able to start using Kali right away. However, if for some reason that you don't want to use Kali, you can always download and install the tools that we're going to use. But for the purpose of this course, I don't necessarily recommend it. As I was trying to hint at earlier, and I'll tell you right now, it's very time consuming. So let's cut to the chase and start by downloading the image file. So open up your browser again and type Kali Linux this time. Click on the download link from the search results. Now you should be at the download page, and if you scroll down the page, you will see that there are, many download flavors. Now here are some different ISO files for different platforms with different desktop environments. However, we're not going to use any of them. Now you won't create a virtual machine right from the very beginning, at least not for this particular course. You won't need to, so scroll down a little bit. Right, so here down in this part, there are prepared virtual machine image files for VMware and VirtualBox platforms. And you see this link? Click on this to download this 64-bit VMware image. And scroll down a bit. Okay, so click the first link in the table. Save the file. Now, because of the file size, a download could take a few minutes, but that's dependent on your internet connection, obviously. So I'm not going to hang out here and record the entire download process. So now the download's done. Now let's go to the download folder, and you can see here's a downloaded file, and I'm going to extract it with WinRAR. So right-click on the file, click Extract Files. I'm going to extract to a new folder in my user directory. Okay, so the files are going to be extracted within a few seconds, and now the extraction's finished. Now go to the folder that your files are in, and here are all the files for the 64-bit Kali Linux VMware image. Now, if you use Windows and your displaying extensions are enabled, you will see a file that ends with VMX. So this is an executable file for VMware Workstation Player. Just double-click on it, and that'll start up Kali Linux. Be patient. So because this is the first time that you're opening the virtual image file, you're going to face this warning. So I'll just click I moved it to just, make certain that the management and network configurations remain. You can also click I copied it, and it doesn't matter that much. Oh, and one more thing. Let's do a software update. VMware Workstation Player detects that you are intending to use a Linux operating system. So what does that mean? Well, it needs to install some additional files, and that's really for a better user experience. And of course, it'll take a few minutes to install the update. So here we are at the login window. Now, by the way, it doesn't matter what the size of the window is. You can always use it at full screen, or you can arrange it as you wish. Size doesn't matter. The default user and password for Kali is root and tour. Then type root, hit enter, and type tour, then hit enter again. Wait a little bit. And here's the desktop environment as it comes up. All right, so that means we've signed in, and this is the desktop of Kali. So now we're going to need to change a few configurations. So follow me. On the right-hand upper corner up here, just click on the little arrow, then click on the settings icon to open up the settings window. And here's the first thing that we're going to do. Change the region and the keyboard settings according to your particular location. And click on region and language. And I don't need to do anything in this first pane, but if you want to, you can change the display language of Kali. Now, from the below pane under Input Sources, by clicking this plus sign, you will see a bunch of keyboard layouts. So here you can choose the keyboard language for yourself. Now, if your keyboard language doesn't seem to be here, just click on these three dots for more and choose the one suitable for you. I'm going to choose English UK, keep my vocabulary strong. So I'm going to move it up. You can use both languages interchangeably, or what I sometimes do is just delete the second one. So now we can close this window and open the terminal emulator from the menu on the left-hand side of the screen. All right, so the second thing we're going to do is change the default password. So type the command PASSWD and enter your super secret password and retype it again and hit enter. All right, so that's the password changed. Now, the last thing to configure here is change the default SSH keys. So for that, we need to go to the SSH folder. And here are the keys. So now I'm going to move them just to another folder. So then I'll create a folder and then move all the keys to the backup folder. And now we can create new ones. So just type dpkg-reconfigure OpenSSH-server. And the new keys are created right here, as you can see. Alrighty then, it is finished. So, congratulations once again. It's not time to pop any champagne corks, but you've basically installed and then configured Kali Linux. Now you can play around with it a little bit to be familiar with Kali more, but for now, we'll move on and install some of the other components.